E. Martin in the house. I'm with my 3 of my 4 crazy daughters. There's Shy. Say hey, what's up, Shy? All right, Jasmine. What up, baby girl? And Z Low in his house. All right, so I'm turning it, and this is their dad. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but anyway, we are at the Cheesecake Factory, putting it in, and I don't get to hang out with these sisters too often because they all grown now, and they don't like hanging out with me like they did when they was little.
That is not the
So
that is not the reason.
That's not the reason.
Do not be lying to the internet like that.
Y'all ain't grown.
Well, we
Not
are
true.
grown, but not too
Y'all-
grown for you.
Not too grown for your dad. All right, well, that makes me feel better. All right, we gonna put it away though, ladies? We gonna put it in? All right. I love you all, and I just wanted to holler at you. Peace. Good morning, Millennials and Gen Z. What's good? What's happening? How we doing? Welcome to another live stream, Sharing My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. Yes, sir. We are back in the house. How we doing today, Millennial and Gen Z? Hope you had a good weekend. Hope all is well. Hope your families are doing well. I hope you're doing well. Hope your health is good. Hope your spirits are up. Hope you're ready to grind this week. It's Monday. All right, Millennials and Gen Z, we are back for another live stream. Sharing My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. I am the coolest uncle on the internet. If you didn't know, now you know. Yeah. All right. So today, Millennials and Gen Z, I live stream once a week. And I want to talk about a subject that I wasn't unaware of it. I was very, very unaware of it. I found out a couple years ago, actually, estranged adult children. Now, I have 4 adult daughters. I'm a grown dad. 36, 30, 27, and 24. I have an amazing relationship with my baby girls. So, a few years ago, I have another YouTube channel, Grow Dad YouTube channel. And I did a live stream on estranged adult daughters with their fathers. I think it was a few months ago. And like I said, a couple of years ago, I found out that there's a lot of adult Millennials and Gen Z that are estranged from their parents. And I didn't have a clue. Honestly, I did not have a clue. So when I decided to do this estranged adult daughters with their fathers on my other Grow Dad YouTube channel, as I started to do the research, it was real shocking because I didn't know, honestly. So I cannot imagine not having a relationship with my adult daughters. I just can't, because I've never done anything foul in their life. I've never brought any harm to their life. I've never done anything foul in my daughter's life to make them not want to be around their mother or their father. I mean, their mother and father have been great to them. So, like I said, it was new. And it really, really caught me off guard. It made me sad, actually. I was sad, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize. But, when I started doing the research on it and found out exactly why a lot of adult children are estranged from their parents, it's dealing with their childhood. And, a lot of adult Millennials and Gen Z kids feel like they got screwed over by their parents in their childhood. So that's the research I came across. And, I know a few adult Millennials that don't even mess with their parents at all. They've cut their parents off. And from what I'm told by Millennials and Gen Z, a lot of these parents that are Gen X parents like myself, or baby boomer parents that were born before me, they're not even acknowledging what their kids are saying to them. if I've ever done anything wrong to my kids, my daughters know they could come to me. We could have a discussion. I'll be the first to apologize if I've done anything to my daughters without my knowledge, of course. So if my daughters ever came to me and said, Dad, we need to have a discussion with you. This is how we're feeling. Cool, let's do that. I'm not going to lose my relationship with my baby girls. That's not going to happen. That's not an option. Because like I said, I've never done anything foul in their life. They've always been protected and safe. They've never done without. Birth to 18. I've always been available. I've always been consistent in their lives. So yeah, man, it was finding this out, millennials in Gen Z, it was an eye opener for me. It was much an eye opener. So, it was kind of crazy. I made this video from TikTok because I use TikTok as my educational source. To me, TikTok is a library of education. So I go there, make my videos, and then I upload them to share with you guys. Okay. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at this video today. Before we get into the video, I want to go to my Share My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. And I want to show you my 23 ebooks I've written, take you to the website so you can check them out. If you're interested in purchasing them, I'm going to take you through them. Okay. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay. So this is my Share My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E, my YouTube channel. So if you go to more here and click on it, it's going to bring up my about, gives you my description about me. And then you see these links that are here, right? If you go down to Share My Wisdom podcast ebooks, click on it. Okay, there we are. These are my ebooks. I have 23 ebooks that I sell. They're $7 a piece. They go hand in hand with Sharing My Wisdom podcasts, okay? So I just believe in sharing information. And I've written these 23 ebooks. They're $7 a piece, as you can see. Okay, let me take you through them. These are my ebooks. I'll click on this one. This is my fitness journey, what it takes to maintain your overall wellness. I'm a fitness and wellness trainer, okay? So this is one of the 15. I'll take you through another one. Let me see. Let me click on another one. How about this one here? This is another one of my ebooks, Mi Familia in 1965. My ebook, it's not in Spanish. It's in English, but Mi Familia is my family in Espanol. So that's another one of my ebooks. So I have 23. And I have one that I've written, Daddy's Girls, A Father's How-To in Building Lifelong Relationships with Our Daughters. That's an actual self-published book that I have on Amazon.com for my other channel, Grow That YouTube channel. So that's the only one here that's for $15. Okay. So if you're interested, feel free. But I've written these ebooks to go hand in hand with my Share My Wisdom podcast. Okay. With Uncle E. So feel free. You could purchase them individually, or you could purchase all 22 of them for $100. So I gave you two choices, because you may not want to purchase all of them. But if you do, you could save yourself about $50 if you purchase all 22 of them. Okay. All right. Let me get out of this. Okay. So yeah, Millennials and Gen Z. I want to get into this video that I made from TikTok. It's about 20 minutes long. And these are estranged adult children that are estranged from their parents for a number of reasons. So let's get into it. Let's check it out. And then I'm going to share an article with you that I came across that has some pretty good research on it. Okay. All right, let's get it. Let me get it set up here, y'all. You see. And can we make sure? Okay, there we go. All right, let's check out this video, Millennials and Gen Z.
If you are estranged from your dad, stop scrolling. For those of us who are estranged from our fathers by our choice or their choice, it's really hard on Father's Day. In my instance, it's per my choice that I no longer speak to my dad or have anything to do with him. This day is hard for different reasons. It's not hard because I miss him. It's not hard because I feel like I don't have a dad, because my father-in-law is literally one of the best humans in the world and has taken me in as one of his own. So it's not because I miss him. It's because I mourn the relationship that I should have with my dad, in the sense of what I know I deserved. My dad and I have always had a rough relationship. Whenever I was young and naive, I thought he hung the moon. And as I got older, I realized that wasn't the case. As I got older, things started to not go very well. And there was a lot of yelling and talking down and name calling. And I just knew that it wasn't the same relationship that most of my friends had with their dad. And looking back, that hurts really bad. Just because now that I'm a parent myself, I can't understand how someone can choose to be that way and how someone can be so selfish. Because I know my dad will never be able to love anyone as much as he loves himself. So I would always feel like, what is wrong with me? Why am I not lovable? Why am I not good enough for him to want to put me first and my siblings? And as I've gotten older, I realized there is nothing that I can do to change any of it. I was a straight A student, graduated with over a 4.0, was in every club coming and going. I tried to be the perfect child, minus the back talking, because I've always been opinionated. And nothing I had ever done was good enough, unless it made him look good. Then he wanted to brag on me. So I was always trying to find something that he would deem his level worthy of praise or worthy of, I don't even know. And that's why I came to the point that there is nothing that I can do. I can never do anything to force him to not be a selfish human. And I know somebody will probably see this that is friends with him or his wife, and they're going to send it to him, and then he's going to, oh, I can't believe she done me that way. but we don't want to have conversations about how you treated me as a child. How now, as an adult, I still struggle with feelings of never being good enough. Feelings that if I'm not a perfectionist, then nothing is ever good. Or wondering why I can't have a relationship with my dad the way that my friends or that my husband and sister in law have. Or realizing that I was cheated out of a positive relationship from my father. And girls do need a good relationship with their father. And I was cheated out of that. Or the fact that now that I have kids, you still haven't changed. And that right there was my ultimate breaking point. There are many times in my life as I got older that I cut off communication with my dad. And then I would always go back and try to work on things again, because it's always me trying to work on things. And then once I became a mother and realized that my kids are now being subjected to the same things, I put my foot down. I will not allow them. I will not allow them to have a grandpa who comes in whenever he wants and then disappears for forever. Because that's what happened. If I wanted to see my dad, even as a teenager, I would have to drive to Ohio to see him when I lived in Kentucky and he was in Ohio. He didn't come visit us. And the one time since my husband and I have been together that he came and stayed with us just to come down, not because I just had a baby or there was a family thing happening or whatever, I generally thought he was coming to stay with just me, to visit with me. This was before my youngest was born. No, he brought my brother and sister to my house and then proceeded to leave because he had made plans with a woman while he was in. So yes, Father's Day is a very hard day, but it's not because I miss him. It's not because I'm sad. It's because I mourn for my younger self. I mourn what she deserved. Because now my 30s has been my road to getting better mentally, physically, spiritually. It's like I'm on a path of finding myself and what makes me happy. And in that journey, I realized that the relationship with him was not helping me. I literally use the phrase, if someone or if a relationship does not add anything positive to my life, but only causes me stress, anxiety, and just negative feelings, it has no place in my life. As a Christian, yes, I forgave him. So that's why I'm not angry anymore. But I still mourn for the child that is still inside of me. And that's hard. But I am so very thankful that I'm on this journey and I'm healing, because I know I deserve it. I know the child version of me deserved it. And she did not deserve anything that happened to her. And until people want to start taking accountability for that, there's no place in my life. No place. I am going to go live tonight. I'm going to try around 6:30, and this is going to be a live at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be a live for all of the girls and women who are estranged from their dads, a place for us to come together, realize that we're not alone, and get some encouragement. So if you want to join me at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will be going live. And for all of the other girls and women in the same position as me, you are worthy, you are lovable, you do not have to try to be perfect, and there is nothing you can do to change people if they don't want to accept their actions. So try not to hold on to things and try to start healing, because trust me, it is very freeing.
It wasn't easy for me, and I remember I was laying in the studio. It was late. I was staying there. I was laying on the couch watching something or other on the screen after finishing the session, and the feeling of loneliness just came over me so hard, and I was like, I've got everything that I wanted when I was younger, but man, this is lonely. And it felt so empty. And I had money in my bank account, and I decided, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm just going to buy enough drink to do the job, and I'm out. And then I remember I ended up passing out, and the next day I woke up and you came to my mind first. And I was like, no, that was the light switch moment where I was like, no, I need to do something about this, because what I realized in that moment is a big part of stuff that I had struggled with was down to my relationship with my dad. If I had taken that way out, which I wouldn't say is the easy way out, because there's nothing easy about feeling like that.
No,
like,
not at all.
There's nothing easy about making a decision that this life is done and I'm gonna, exit stage left. But then I knew all I was gonna be doing then is passing all of my shit onto you and saying, yeah, go for it. Like, I couldn't do it, but you
can.
You go ahead.
You give it a shot.
Like, out of nowhere, I remembered I'm a dad. Like, and that really did save me. That
So I just wanted to make a quick video on some of the content that I've been making lately. And sometimes when I go through the comments and when I approve them and then disapprove some, they're usually the people that like to dig in and make us feel really upset about being estranged. And they make it all about how it's our fault. It's our fault. See, the thing that we don't understand as estranged parents is that this is all new to us. Like, I knew my generations and generations and generations because we learned to forgive each other. So the question I was asked on one of the comments is, they are your children. Your answer is in your question. They are your children. We know this and we totally understand it. And that's something that we can't believe, is the fact that they don't want anything to do with us. Some kids have come from really horrible backgrounds, some people not so, and some people just didn't know how to love. Not know how to love, show love. Because I was sexually abused as a child, and as much my love language to my children was to buy them everything. But now I'm nurturing the behavior, the spoiled behaviors from them to now. And the second part of the question was, how can you be okay and not hurt and miss them? We totally miss them. Just because we're removing ourselves from something that's really affecting us and our mental health, it doesn't mean we don't love them. It means that we've come to a point in our life where we go, okay, I have to be healthy, I have to be happy. And if it's without them, you didn't give us a choice. We had to learn to be without you. And so from them, we still have to work, we still have to function. And that's the ability of a mature adult that has learnt to grieve and has learnt to be okay with having to be alone.
I am 35 years old, and I will definitely say that I've known my dad my entire life. But there are other things that I feel like make a man or somebody's dad a deadbeat versus just never showing up. I was a really big daddy's girl. Now, as time goes by, as we grow up and we start understanding a little bit more about life, we kind of get a chance to pay attention to our parents, especially our mothers, and see what type of role they take on. And then a little bit later, we realize our mother prioritized the role as being a mom a lot more than our fathers prioritized being a dad. My mom would always go to work, but my dad would sit home. And of course, so his job would be to watch us. The very first things that I remember in my childhood is my dad, when my brother was a brand new baby, he would sit downstairs and play video games all day long, the entire time my mom was gone. What he will also do is allow my newborn brother to just cry to the very top of his lungs. And he would not even think about, walking upstairs to get him. So that resulted in eventually my mom getting rid of my dad. She did not play that shit whatsoever. My mom felt like if she was going to get up and go to work, the least he could do is be watching the kids and not allowing her newborn ass baby to be sitting up screaming at the top of his lungs crying. But when I was that young, it hurt me a lot because, like I said, I was a really big daddy's girl. So that hurt me to my core. It ripped me apart. It ripped me apart. As time went by, I ended up, getting used to it. Now, I remember when my brother turned about 1 year old, my dad introduced us to his new girlfriend. But when I first met her, she was the bomb. She had went to the store and bought me, all kind of little purses and stuff from a Target or something like that. And those were my very first memories of her. She used to play Monopoly. And I guess I liked her because she was doing the kid things, with me. And I really enjoyed that. And from there, things kind of declined. So, of course, being a small child, I'm in elementary school, I'm in middle school, and, kids need things. So my mom would tell me to ask my dad for something. Let's say it was a school book fair or something like that. And she would be like, call your dad and ask him for $5. I call my dad and ask him for $5, and it was always a no. Every single time I would ask my dad for anything, he never had it. Even to this day, the one thing that I can recall my dad ever buying for me, and I don't know, I was 5 years old, he bought me a bracelet that had all of the Disney characters on it. I real life can't think of one other thing that my dad has contributed or purchased.
Unfortunately, family are the ones that get the most comfortable with disrespecting you and harming you because they figure, well, she's not going to go anywhere. She's not going to do anything about it. But eventually, once you cut them off, then they see I couldn't just continue to do that to her. With family, it's a really tricky subject. I haven't healed all the way yet from the things that my family have done to me. And they've done some pretty unforgivable things.
Viejo, mi querido viejo, haga cabeza, como perdonando al viento.
Y'all can take this for what it's worth, but I think there are some people that would rather be estranged from their own children than do the hard work of healing their inner child. Because when faced with the two options of either estrangement from their family or having to deal with their own demons, I think they decided to pick the lesser of the two evils, which is estrangement. Because when you're estranged, you can still live in your bubble that everything is the way that you think it is, that you're the victim. And how could they ever have anything negative to say about you? Dealing with issues head on, dealing with the fact that you might have fucked up, a lot harder. And I think some people just don't want to do it.
I'm 56 years old, and I've seen my dad one time since I was 22 years old. He's still alive. We just had a bad falling out. Now, you may be in a situation like that. As we're coming up on the holidays, it really hits a lot of people on bad blood among family members. Well, the reasons why, or forgiveness, or closure, or anything like that, that's not really what I'm talking about. But I am thinking about going to see him. He's in his 80s, and he's dying. And I thought, I need to go see him. And whether it's to make things right, what do I hope to occur? What do I expect? Do I expect him to say, I'm sorry I did you and your mom wrong. I apologize. I see the error of my ways. Well, maybe. But what good's it going to do? It's not going to change anything. What I realized and why I want to do that is I realize that he's just human. That, look, he didn't abuse me. He didn't beat me. There was nothing like that. He did some shitty things. But I reached out to him on this Father's Day, and I said, you know what you did, what happened isn't right. But as I am a grown man now, raising kids in my middle age, and I realize, hey, you know what? Life's hard, and you probably did the best with what you had, and that's it. You probably didn't intentionally mean to do a lot of things, but that's just it. I think a lot of us probably, if you really step back, we can either hang on to the bitterness or we can look at our parents and go, they fucked up some, but they didn't know what they were doing either. And it wasn't until I realized that there's a lot that I do that we're all flying blind on this thing. We're all adults flying blind on how to raise kids, how to be a husband or a wife or a spouse or go through things. Am I right? Nah. But I do hold a little space and grace for him now. That's it. Something to think about. That's the grown-ass advanced adulting stuff. Okay. If you're interested in doing more of that with me, follow me and reach out.
If he ignores the needs, the concerns, the feelings of his own children, he is not a good father. And he's not going to be a good man either. You understand me? He is not a good father. I don't care how many vacations he takes your kids on. I don't care how many birthday parties he attends with your kids. I don't care how many times he plays with your kids outside. I don't care if he's coaching your kids' soccer team. I don't care if he's coaching your kids' football team. I don't care if he is buying the kids everything they need. I don't care if he plays with the kids. If he is ignoring their feelings, their needs, and concerns, he's just a performative dad. It's all for show. Okay? If he can't value himself, how could he value his children who came from him?
I read a quote that said, "The oldest daughter's love life is a direct reflection of how much karma her father owed, and it is paid in full by that oldest daughter."
Okay, Millennials and Gen Z, I just wanted to share that video with you. What are your thoughts? Feel free to leave comments. Post your comments. I'd love to read them. Like I said, I didn't have a clue that this estrangement was as prevalent as it is until I actually start doing the research. But, it's very, very interesting. So, as far as me sharing my wisdom with you, regarding being estranged from your parents, that's going to be a tough one because as a father, I have a great relationship with my kids. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to you, because if you feel that your childhood was wronged and you try to go to your parents and they're unwilling to acknowledge, because what I'm being told is that a lot of adult children, they just want their parents to acknowledge. And if the parents aren't willing to do that, I don't even know where you start from. Because at this point, everybody's grown. And you know what you know. And so that's a tough one. Like I said, I can't imagine not having a relationship with my baby girls. It's just not an option. And, I stay out of their way. They're living their best lives. I'm happy for my daughters. When I see them, we go to dinner, we catch up on the phone. I just want to make sure they're doing well, but I don't bother my girls. My girls know at this stage in my life, my job is to embrace them, not embarrass them. So, I just want to share that one with you, Millennials and Gen Z, and feel free to comment, please. Feel free. I want to pull up this article and share it with you, okay? To kind of go through it. Let's see here. Okay, this is from the Institute for Family Studies. And its article is called "A Broken Bond, the Pain of Mother-Child Estrangement." And if you want to get this article, go to the Institute for Family Studies, and this is what it is: a broken bond, the pain of mother-child estrangement. And so what it says: due to wind, our bike ride was longer than usual. When we arrived at the restaurant, we found only seats at the bar. It was Mother's Day, so we should have anticipated the celebratory crowd. However, we didn't think squeezing in a party of two mid-afternoon would be a problem. So we bellied up to the bar and ordered champagne. When my husband headed to the restroom before our meals arrived, I found myself alone with our young bartender. Highlights of this article, it says, while father-child estrangement is much more common, so it's much more common for daughters to be estranged from their daughters than their mothers. While father-child estrangement is much more common, 6% of adult children are estranged from their mothers, a percentage that increases across time and distance. Second highlight, what it says here: some children are unhinged by inheritance issues or perceived slights and inequalities, or harbor grudges after mom and dad divorce and family dynamics shift. Third highlight is, no matter the reason, mother-child separation hurts. I would agree with that. Let's see. Yeah, this is the article. Let's see. It says here, let's face it, relationships can be complicated, often more so with those we love most. While father-child estrangement is much more common, 6% of adult children are estranged from their mothers, a percentage that increases over time. So I already read that. And then it goes into the variety of reasons of why it happens. So, I just wanted to share that with you. That's a tough one. It really, really is tough because I don't understand it. I just don't. So, Share My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. I would just say to you adults that are estranged from your parents, if there's any way you can work it out, please. You only have your parents for a certain time. And if they're still living, I would hate to see any of you, something happen to your parents and you have to take that to your grave, unless you believe it's unforgivable. So I would keep you in my daily prayers, asking God to help you be able to forgive your parents and be able to have those tough discussions as adults, because we're all adults now. And, I would hope that your parents would be willing to acknowledge, because that's what most adult children are asking, acknowledge. That's the starting point. So, all right, Millennials and Gen Z, this is another live stream. Sharing Your Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. I live stream once a week. And I'm growing organically, feeling good about this new YouTube channel. I've got 3 YouTube channels. I have Grow That YouTube channel, which I address fathers of daughters. I have a fitness and wellness channel, which I started back in 2012. I got about 4,000 videos on that, showing me training my clients over the years. And then this is brand new, Sharing My Wisdom podcast with Uncle E. I started this October the 21st. So feeling good about it. Going to grow organically. And like I said, I'm here once a week. Millennials and Gen Z, I welcome you all, okay? So I want you to have a good week. Grind at work. Handle your business. Do what it is you need to do. And, keep your heads up, Millennials and Gen Z. God bless you. Okay, I ask that you keep me in your daily prayers as I will do the same. Okay? So I'm out until next week. I'll holler at you, Millennials and Gen Z. Thank you for participating. I'm out. Peace.